Ladies and gentlemen,
Cool.
welcome to a brand new episode of On It. We're here. You got me. You got Devin. We're back. We got we got things to talk about. We got some college football to talk about. We got some Thursday night football to predict. I do got
Oh,
some fantasy football to talk about. We got some things. We even got a little bit of NBA still to talk about.
we have
Um,
NBA to talk about.
of course, Devin. See, because
What?
my idea is if we, you know, what happened last, and like I said, welcome back. We getting into it. Last year, like when the NFL season ended, we kind of like it didn't take long, but it did take a minute to like catch up with the NBA season.
Yeah, we had not only not spoken about it much, but kind of just. I mean,
Yeah,
because there was the whole
minuscule.
in-season tournament shit was not exciting, really,
Hmm.
and just a lot of bullshit. And we knew what we were waiting for, but yeah, we did feel a little lost when we got there.
Yeah, and I feel like I just think it'll help us out a little bit when it's like mid February and we got to get deep into the NBA,
Yeah,
and
just
there'll be a lot discussed
keep
then.
it
So
on the
yeah,
brain for a little bit.
we even got a little.
Also, got to support the team.
What is that? Is that a Washington Commanders hat?
Yep, I made sure that I got a hat to support, but no one will, unless they read the hat up close, will
I'm
think
not
it's
gonna
a.
lie. Yeah, I thought that was like a golf hat or
No one knows.
no. Yeah, I
You
still
got it's real
like
small
1932 Washington. Okay, yeah. I mean that's a
because there's so
Washington.
many of those hats with the big ugly fucking W or all this scribbly gut. Nah.
Do you really hate the W that much?
No, but it's weird for me because like there's still talk about us changing the name again. I mean,
I
if
think
we're
it's
gonna
too.
be like the W was cool when we were the Washington football team. But now we're like, why be the Commanders? We don't even have a logo or shit. It's the same logo as it was with the football team.
Y'all just needed a name. I'm not gonna lie. Football team wouldn't have stuck.
I know, but it's like if you're gonna give us Commanders, give us something to work with, or just give us a name we can turn into a symbol. That's not a fucking ugly
Well,
ass W.
I don't know. You just got to think. Remember, they wanted to stick to a parameter of the history and all that, and
Sure,
I just feel
but
like
Commanders, what is that fucking for the president, Commander in Chief?
I mean, it's DC. It was going to be either commander or general or fucking. I don't know. It was going to be something like that, like
There were a bunch of names thrown out there.
the
I
George
kind of we got
Washingtons,
to pick something different though.
the Washington George Washingtons,
The Washingtons.
the Washington Washington. See, but how stupid that would have been.
No, it's incredibly
That'd have been
stupid.
terrible.
The Washington Georges.
But I think the first thing we got to get into it's college football. Now
Yeah,
we're gonna get it out of the way now,
real quick.
and I'm not gonna lie, we might not talk about this team for the rest of this season.
Until we see maybe a change of quarterback.
No, no, don't even put that bad juju in the air. I don't want DJ Lagway to take another snap this season.
Sorry.
We're talking about the University of Florida. I don't need DJ Lagway to take. We're gonna get to DJ Lagway, but I will say I don't need him to have any more of a reason to not want to stay here.
That is true.
After what has happened week 1,
Yeah.
but just out of the respect for me, you, anybody watching, Gator fan or not, why would I waste any of our times, the delicate time, the precious time we have on this earth, talking about some garbage school like the University of Florida? Why would we ever do something like that? We will do that once. We will do that today. We will waste our precious time talking about a garbage school like
I
University
thought
of
you were going to say
Florida.
our precious time on the podcast. You went Earth.
Precious time on this earth, Devin.
What
On
if I
this
was the president of the Earth?
on this earth. I got a lot of problems. I got a lot of issues. Top 10 candidates to replace Billy Napier. You, Bruce Willis, um,
Me and Bruce Willis.
um,
Honestly, I think I got a good shot over Brucey.
but I'm saying
No,
like,
no offense.
but like Anybody? I will close my eyes, walk down the street a mile,
Mm.
point at the first person I open my eyes up to see.
It's a
They
crack
can be
daddy.
they can be the new head coach of the University of Florida. It needs to
Beautiful.
be anybody but this man Billy Napier.
What
And
about Urban? No Urban.
Urban wouldn't sniff.
Urban would not
He
sniff
wouldn't
this team.
sniff the University of
No, he
Florida,
wouldn't.
and I wouldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him. I'm
He
not
will
gonna
sniff
sit here.
that finger though.
I don't know if you thought I was gonna be this way, or if anybody else watching thought I was gonna be this way, but I'm not gonna sit here and make some excuse.
I mean, no, I didn't expect you to make an excuse. I mean, last year I think we still kept up,
Oh, I'm not
but I'm
keeping up
not
with
sure.
shit.
I got you.
I'm not keeping up with shit. Devin, my precious time on this earth. When I say that, I mean on Saturdays when I'm gonna,
Yeah,
bro. There is so much college football on Saturdays. There are so many good games.
good college football team.
There-
There's a lot of
there-
implications this year.
There were so many good games that we're gonna talk about
Yeah,
after this that
Yeah.
I got to watch and I got
Yeah.
to enjoy, and I didn't
Yeah.
have to worry about I don't know, every recruiter there going, I'm not going here,
Yeesh.
or I don't know, playing or giving up the most points in a season home season opener in the history of the University of Florida.
To an ACC team, to Miami.
To Miami. And here's the thing. Billy Napier, I'm not just like, oh, we sucked, Billy Napier has to go. Billy Napier, and I think it's a lot more important in college football than NFL. It's the culture you bring
Agreed.
and the culture the culture you have to adapt to.
Yeah, college football is different because it's so many young minds and there's so many guys who need a way to play. In the NFL, everyone's usually got their own little thing going on, but college football, the culture is humongous.
So when you come to the University of Florida, there's a standard that the people are going to expect.
Mhm.
So when that standard is not only is not just not met, it's it is astronomically far away. You were in a different stratosphere of bad.
I don't know what the stratosphere is, but yes.
You cannot sit there as the head coach University of Florida and go, this was a quote. We can't worry about what, a guy in his basement is saying in Central Florida. First of all,
that's what it's about.
First of all, Billy, ain't no basements.
Ain't no basements in Florida, dog.
Ain't
Fuck
no
out
basements down here. Second
You'd
of
be
all,
flooding too much,
Billy,
pussy.
it's actually all about the guys that have been living. Because here's the thing: there's people that put their fucking heart, their entire life,
Everything
into a college football team or a college period.
Especially the University of Florida.
Call them weirdos, say they're obsessed, say they're whatever. It don't matter. They're
not losers in the basement. They pay your salary, brother.
And it does matter how they feel. It does
it's
matter.
the biggest thing that Florida has.
What's the biggest thing that area of Florida has? It is what is feeding the city of Gainesville. What are we?
There would be no Gainesville without good college football.
It's just for Billy to have this nonchalant vibe to him still.
Yeah,
to just sit here and just a loss like this early in the year, it could be a gift, a blessing in disguise. Like that was the bullshit he was yapping about. Those were the type of quotes Billy
I think I said that last episode.
Was spewing. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
When we just suck. Graham Mertz is not, and I don't know where the Graham Mertz hype came from.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit end of last season.
I don't know why the last season ended, and the offseason hit, and it was like, man, watch out for Graham Mertz, yada yada yada, and what people started to do, and I said this last episode, Devin. I said all of a sudden people want to be like, watch out for them Gators. Don't do that. There's no reason to sit here and say, watch out for them Gators when you knew damn well when that schedule dropped, you went, oh, the Gators might win 3 games.
Yeah, no.
They might win 3 games. Kentucky ain't a gimme no more.
They've had y'all's number for the past, 3-4 years now?
Yes.
They were on
Um,
y'all.
um, um,
Shit, Sanford might not be a gimme.
we Sanford might be the only gimme, but last time we played Sanford, I'm pretty sure they put up 50.
No, it
Um,
was 70 something
70
to
to
50
50.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like it
that
was
was
bad.
that was what's his bro.
It was bad.
Yeah,
And I, I just the Graham Mertz hype, it came flying in, and people were saying, watch out for him. They're gonna be a low key dangerous team. We're not. We're not. And all I asked for, Devin, was just to finish the game with some respect.
yeah, it got worse.
Devin, that's the last thing we did. We had and all props to Miami. Showed up, kicked our ass
Kicked
in
ass.
the
Cam
swamp.
Ward
Showed up
looked
to the
good.
swamp,
Mm,
kicked our ass, walked up to the recruit, said, "Don't go here." And I wouldn't blame one single recruit. I wouldn't blame every single recruit in that stadium for going, yeah, not coming here, crossing us off the list. Why would you want to? Why would you want to?
true.
I mean, call me dramatic. Uh, say I'm being dramatic. I don't know I don't have another adjective for it right now. I'm too
Sure,
frustrated to come up with
sure.
a different adjective right now, Devin. But there's just what there's not a single
There
positive.
is no yeah.
I mean, like even like Washington, you can have a game or whatever, and it's like there are positives you can point out.
Sure.
Just the fact that you are a team where it's like, I mean, if we had a competent quarterback, who knows?
Agreed. Like
Our
our defense is
entire
always a good thing and
our entire
D-line.
team, our entire team, our locker room is lost. We don't have an identity. That winning
Yeah,
culture is gone. That will to win. I've never seen a Gator team season opener feel like feel like we were already 0-4.
dead, yeah.
Like I feel like we were already not in playoff contention, already weren't in bowl contention. Like it's like
Yeah.
we just
Well, I think it was like that coming into the season, and I'm assuming a lot of Gator fans held out hope, and we're kind of basing everything off how this first game went because it's a real matchup against the ranked team. And after the first three quarters, it was pretty shot.
after the first,
Half.
bro. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, before the score got crazy,
Yeah.
you could start to tell, like, okay, so Graham Mertz just throws into triple coverage.
Yeah.
Our defense can't, I mean, stop what? Um, anything. I mean, anything. Like, I was trying to think of like maybe there's something like we can stop everything. We can't stop anything, but there's nothing but there. It's everything. We
They were
suck.
like they were throwing
We
the ball up.
we suck. I said we were gonna suck. Did I think we were gonna suck this bad? No, I did not think we were gonna suck this bad. Um,
And again, I mean, we don't know how good Miami is. Maybe Miami's like a top 12 team or better. But
it's gonna
either
be
way,
it's gonna be worse when they're not. It's gonna be worse when they finish with 7 or 8 wins, and they're like pretty good.
yeah.
But it's like
Look
when
what
they
they did
play
in
a
Florida.
team like Florida, they
Yeah.
are a top 10. They look
And
like they're a top 10 team.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I think when the schedule came out, it was like, yeah, obviously it's going to be very tough for Florida to have a lot of wins, but I think the biggest thing was like you guys could knock a team out, have the ability to play a tight game with a ranked team.
Sure, maybe.
But at this point, it seems like that's going to be fairly tough.
At this point, if you don't beat us by 3 touchdowns, you might get knocked out of playoff contention. Like you better blow us out. I mean, shit. At this point, that's how bad we are. It's like, oh wait. So you only beat Florida 35-20.
Ay,
Yeah, I know you're 11-1, but like, if you would have
that's
beaten
brutal.
Florida by like just 6 more points, 7 more points,
Yeah.
like maybe we would have gave it to you. But
Now, do you think y'all's locker room is worse than, or y'all's, I guess, identity is worse than LSU or FSU?
yeah,
Okay.
We'll get to
Well,
FSU in a second, but like, yeah,
LSU had some problems too.
FSU, LSU. No, I mean, yeah, no,
You see the LSU thing?
oh yeah. Well, trust me, I'm interested in a lot of other college football teams than
Agreed. Yeah.
the University of Florida because they are just a disappointing wreck. Um, a shout out to bro who I already forgot his name. That was posting "fuck this team."
Yeah, I don't even know who that guy
He's
was,
a
but
senior with like 400 career yards and one touchdown. He is
yeah,
a
go
bum.
fuck yourself.
So I mean, as much as I'm disappointed in the University of Florida, uh, it is a privilege to be a D1 football player.
Of
It's a
course.
privilege to be an SEC football player. And no matter, I mean, yeah, like I said, if you're a recruit and you go to this game, yeah, no, why would you ever come here? But if you did choose to stay here,
Mm,
you chose to come here, stay here
mm.
for 4 years, and go through what you went through. I mean, I really hope this
Why?
man.
Yeah.
I,
Why
I
is it
I
fuck this team now?
I would expect you to not be suiting up versus Sanford and not be on this roster anymore.
Yeah, I would expect him
If
to not be
that's how it is. And here's the thing: if Billy Napier keeps his man on this team, that just shows you how much of a bitch he is.
No, of course.
I mean, Billy
This
Napier, like
he needs to go.
you think Nick Saban's letting some shit like that fly?
Fuck no. I mean, that shit wouldn't even come across those players' fucking brains. That wouldn't even be a thought amongst those guys.
Any other SEC school, any other SEC school, any other top
Damn near
program,
any other
any other
D1
top
fucking school.
program. Yeah,
We don't
any
see
other.
this anywhere else.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, like,
it's sad. It's sad.
yeah, that's sad.
Um,
I mean, obviously, it's on the player himself. He can go fuck off, but I think it shows a little bit about
but
the
and then
culture.
but DJ Lagway, he did go in after Graham Mertz came out with a concussion, and it's like I'm already convinced Lagway's leaving. Like, there's no way he's staying. There's no way. There's absolutely
I mean,
no
if
way.
if if they talk about, I mean, shit, it was kind of a shock that. No offense, it wasn't a shock, but he was a 5 star.
Yeah, but it wasn't. I don't. It wasn't a shock that Mertz was coming in as QB1.
No, no, no. It was a shock that Lagway committed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Not a shock, but it was like that's a great get for you guys.
Well, see, at this point, we're only getting 5 stars if 5 stars like truly want to be a Gator.
No, and yeah, exactly. Like he wanted to be a Gator, and I'm not sure how far his
And if
lengths will
that's
go. I mean, if he's really a 5 star like that, then this team might not give him the opportunity to show his talents. Because I mean, he's not a freak of nature like Anthony Richardson, where he didn't need to win or put up crazy numbers to be drafted
mhm,
top 10, top
mhm.
5. But
I mean,
we'll see.
who knows? There might be a guy that decides to stay in Colorado and might need a quarterback. Uh, you know,
Bro ain't staying in Colorado.
who knows? I
And
mean,
even if he does, who gives a fuck? I don't
not
know.
me, but I mean, I'm just saying,
I mean,
uh,
shit. If you don't want to talk about the Gators, I damn sure don't want to talk about Colorado anymore. Because also, like I said, Texas put the work on Colorado State. What, 50 something to nothing?
mm,
I expect the same thing from Colorado. I
yeah,
don't. Ex-
but no,
I don't
that's
want
the
to see a
thing.
tight fucking football game in double overtime.
No, Colorado. But see, Colorado is way more like interesting to get invested in.
Yeah, but
It's
just
way more.
I only like to get invested because I can't stand them, and it's beautiful when they lose.
Okay, well there you go. Then
So,
you have something to look forward to every Saturday when Colorado plays. Do you know what fan base might be more down in the dumps than University of Florida?
Florida State,
Florida State
them
University.
them boys in where are they? Tallahassee.
Yeah, yeah. The boys in Tallahassee. So Florida State, and here's the thing. Hey,
Also, yeah, I said if they lose the chop. They lost to BC.
see, here's the thing. Maybe a Florida State fan sees this and they're, oh, Gator, you're a Gator fan or whatever. Relax, relax.
Yeah, no, this is
I
this is
know
not.
we
This is
suck. Like,
definitely.
yes, the Gators suck, but so do y'all. So do y'all. And because here's the thing, we're talking expectations, Devin. We're talking expectations.
But even without expectations,
No,
this is worse.
oof, I'm just saying though. I'm just saying though, the way they ran their mouth. all off season.
All off season.
The way they still ran their mouth after losing to Georgia Tech.
But also, what team goes undefeated one year and then loses the first 2 games to unranked in division garbage schools?
Ranked 10th in the country.
10th in the nation.
Ranked 10th in the country, and they lose to unranked Georgia Tech. And now, okay, all right. You got butterflies. You lose a close game to Georgia Tech.
It's in Ireland.
Whatever.
It's all this. There's a bunch of press. Whatever. It's a tight game. You lose by a field goal.
You get your ass kicked by Boston College
booty
at home.
Wet.
That's a problem.
Dog.
That's
28 to 15 is a very big problem. DJ Ugalakalihi, 21 of 42.
Bro, it was like in the fourth quarter at one point it was like 200 to 21 in rushing yards. It was crazy. I mean,
that's terrifying. Team stats, rushing yards, 21 rushing yards by FSU to 263.
Do you remember what was going to happen though if Florida State lost?
They would become a Division II team, FCS school.
There was a Florida State fan that said he'll eat dog shit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He said he will record himself eating dog shit.
Pull it up.
And he will post it. So I'm waiting for that. That's what I'm waiting for.
Honestly, I'm more interested in what breed of dog it is.
What breed of dog it is, how he got it.
I want to see the dog shit it. I want it to be in like a cold area, and I want to see the steam from the hot shit as
it could be honestly.
Forks it into his mouth.
I need him to walk directly into his backyard. I need to pull him up, pull it out of the grass, stuck to it, and chunk big old.
Now, would you rather see him eat like a fresh shit or like one of those shits that is now turning white?
I don't care.
I'd like to see a hot one.
I don't care. It's dog shit.
Like Krispy Kreme. I want to see the hot and freshy sign, and I want to see him.
It's just, I mean, like, it's like no matter how bad, like, it is being a Gator fan right now, like, we're not 0-2 top 10 in the country with, like, the most expectations in the world. Like, we were, like, Florida.
Y'all didn't have an undefeated season last year.
Florida State spent all offseason, like, yep, now that the playoff format's different, now we're in.
They spent the whole offseason suing the NCAA.
They might miss the playoffs.
They will miss the playoffs.
See,
2 losses to unranked. No, they're missing the playoffs.
Okay, theoretically,
there will be 12 teams bet.
Theoretically, though, if they go 10-2, it's like you don't know how this.
No, I know, but it's the ACC.
But I'm saying though, if they go 10-2, you don't know how the
season. But it's no, I understand. It is 12. And it's different.
I'm saying the first loss, it was like they might miss the playoffs. I mean 12 teams are gonna make it. Now it's like, oh shit. Like, they are missing the playoff. They might just miss the play. Like, when I say...
This team might not get a bowl game. That's how bad this team could be. We don't know. If you lose 28 to 13 to BC, you could lose every game this year.
And for the first time in a while, Miami is like the king of Florida. They're the kings of Florida.
Miami is the kings, bro. This is early 2000s.
It was. You got to think, like, obviously, Florida had their run. Florida State had their run. There was a time where, like, UCF was like, we're undefeated. Fuck with us.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
And now Miami, shit, after week 1, it's like, whoa.
Well, UCF they were national champs.
Oh.
They're unofficial national champs.
What?
There was a season they went undefeated and they beat, I think, the 2 teams in the final.
Yeah,
they've claimed
that's the thing. Like, it's like, you know,
national champs.
We should have made the playoffs. They're a Florida State type team. It's like, but now after shit, you got Florida State's already 0-2, lost to 2 unranked teams. Miami just beat the dog shit out of Florida. I mean, it's Miami's world, and
big time.
You know what? The best thing about it, like, out of all the rivalries, I can stand Miami.
Yeah, you feel the less to win.
Like, Florida State, when they get to talking, it's like, Georgia, when Georgia gets to talking, it's like,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all don't play Miami every year.
No, they were reading off all the stats up until 19 whatever or however whatever we played every single year, but then things changed, and then but we're considered a rivalry.
Of
At this
course.
point, it doesn't feel like it. Only because it's in
Right now,
state.
yeah.
Like it's in state, but it's like okay, so if we play USF, it doesn't feel like an in-state rivalry. At this
No,
point, that's more of a level of competition. If we're talking rivalry, like
that's a
U-
tighter matchup.
USF might.
Now, I'm honestly interested in to see how FSU and y'all are going to match up. I think that could be interesting.
No, that's the thing. FSU, they'll get their shit together by the time they play us.
We don't know
I know, I know that.
that.
They're Devin.
maybe
Trust
maybe
me,
just against y'all.
Devin. They might go 0-10 or 0
Yeah,
11. They will have their shit together for us. Don't
y'all are
worry.
the last game of the season.
Always,
Oh, really? Okay.
all the time.
Because I know Georgia's mid-season.
But I mean, you do know that the last game of the season is always like rivalries. Like, you never
I guess
noticed
that's
that. Do you notice that?
a little bit.
You don't
Honestly,
notice that?
this is probably going to be the first year that I truly pay attention to college football, and that just
What?
being because I mean I've never really been a super college football fan. Most of my energy goes to the NFL, and I don't have a team that I enjoy watching. Um, but also, I mean, for a long time, you just get that feeling where it's like there's four teams who can make it. It's going to be a similar four, or you're going to get like a TCU thrown in there who shouldn't be there and gets blown out 52-8 in the Natty. So I feel like now with NIL and the 12-team playoff and all this stuff, I feel like everything's a lot closer because the gap between like the Alabama, Clemson, Georgia
Mm-hmm.
was up here, and then everyone else started down here,
Mm-hmm.
and there was just such a gap.
Yeah.
This feels so much better now. This feels like a watchable season.
It's
Like
bro.
a very.
It's
This
a
is probably going to
league.
be the most exciting college football season of my watching career, but I think a lot of people.
It's a league. It's a league now.
No, this is a
Like
real
it
league
is.
now. Yeah,
It
like
is a real
because
league
there
now.
are essentially trades and transfers and all this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and no one's locked in anywhere, and you can go somewhere else and go make more money and all this shit. So yeah, I think it'll be great.
Oh. Okay.
Is
Georgia.
there college fantasy?
Shit. Probably eventually. I mean,
I don't know how that even would
yeah.
work.
There probably will be at some point. No,
SEC
I don't
fantasy?
believe there is right now, but
Yeah.
I feel like it could eventually be. So for the first half of Georgia's game, I was like, all right, maybe.
Wait, no, you texted me. You said Georgia's trash.
Well, okay, because I'm watching this game and I'm
Yeah,
like,
no,
bro.
agreed. Yeah,
I mean, I'm like, Georgia's playing like shit. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
even bro after the game was like, yeah, like yeah, we definitely had to get our shit together. A lot of adjustments at the second half. I mean, it was 14-7.5,
Yeah.
and I was like, whoa. But the thing about why did I already forget who Georgia played? Georgia,
Clemson.
Clemson. You're right. My thing, my only thought is because it's week one and just
Mm.
something that I'm gonna look for Georgia and Clemson is was there a possibility that Georgia had their best second half they will have all season and Clemson had their worst second half they'll have all season? Like down the line, if Clemson's
Yeah,
5-1, it's like okay, like I might want to see a rematch between these two teams. I
sure,
might want to like, I mean, obviously after what Georgia did in the second half, it's like obviously there's no expectation but them to
sure.
be what they've been the past few years, and that's just one of the most dominant schools. Um,
Yeah, to me, this felt more like Georgia just doing what Georgia was supposed to do. Clemson only scored 3 points. They kicked a field goal in the third, and that was all they had. So, yeah, to me, this felt like how the game should have gone. Obviously, it was a terrible second half by Clemson defensively and offensively, but this is a score I would have expected between, again, the gap between a Georgia and then the gap between a high level ACC team.
but what's that? So 1-14. So that's
What's up?
one.
Yeah, 1-14.
I
Yeah.
mean, if is that really what? So what's 1-12 gonna be like?
Well, no, I'm hoping by year's end we can. I mean, these are preseason rankings, so hopefully we can. They can master a better 12. But I think for the time being, there's still going to be a little bit of a gap between, obviously, and Georgia.
And then Oregon. Now, okay, this one was confusing. Oregon beats Idaho 24-14.
Yeah,
It
that
was a
was. Weird.
It was a close game for a while.
Was
And
Oregon ranked?
third. They're number 3. Oregon
I
is
think they're
number
unranked now.
Oregon is number 3 in the country. Or went into this game number 3 in the country. And here's the
Yeesh.
thing. Here's the thing. I know like Colorado runs their mouth and we had to shit on them. But you gotta shit on Oregon. They barely.
Idaho honestly didn't realize that they had a team. I thought it was Boise State that had a
Devin,
decent.
Idaho is an FCS school.
Oh, brother. Yeah, no, this is not allowed. They were ranked third.
Third ranked team in the
Get the
country.
fuck out of here.
Barely.
You know, and this was I'm assuming, I think the game was close.
It was close for a long time. It was close for a long time. I mean, at one point it was like, "Fuck, is Idaho about to beat Oregon?" Like, I mean, there were definitely thoughts. I mean, I don't know. You know, you had those games.
It was 17-14 at one point.
You had games. You have games where it's like you can just tell, like,
yeah,
like all that team has to do is just kick into the next gear and they're gonna take over.
Agreed.
It didn't feel like that. Like it felt
really?
like it felt like it's just a competitive game, and I was like, wow, wow. So just across the board, we got teams from Colorado to top 3 teams in the country just getting dog walked by FCS schools.
Yeah, beautiful.
And when I say dog walk, I mean dog walk.
No, any game that is competitive is a dog walk.
Yeah. I don't care if you still won. You got dog walk.
It's not a win if you beat an FCS school by 10 and you're fucking ranked.
No,
even if you're not ranked.
No,
shouldn't even be close.
I mean, the Colorado thing was bad, but you're third in the country.
That's brutal.
It was bad. But then my game. What's up?
Just real quick, Oregon's kicker. His name is Atticus Sappington. A wonderful name.
And then my game of the week, USC versus LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, just obviously.
What, 23?
27-20?
USC?
No. Ranking,
23 to 13?
23-13. 23 USC ranked. LSU was ranked 13. Game finished 27-20. I mean, just back and forth the whole game. It was competitive. It was down to the wire. See, I was close. I was leaning towards like Notre Dame and A&M.
Sure.
It was slow. I mean, and then it picked up. But there was just so much hype around Notre Dame and A&M leading up. Like all day, they were previewing that game while I was watching Florida Miami, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, let's see what they're talking about. And then this LSU USC game just punched me in the face.
Sure.
And I mean, maybe it was the Vegas vibe. Maybe it was just it was a kick.
It was under big lights.
It was treated like a big game.
Yeah.
And I mean, came down touchdown with 8 seconds left. I mean, it was a nail biter.
Yeah.
And you know, as a SEC fan, it was
Love
nice to see LSU lose.
But yeah, there was something with the penalty for celebration after an LSU touchdown.
I want to say it happened twice on the same receiver.
Okay,
he was celebrating.
And then did it on the sideline like he didn't give a fuck.
Well, he was like showing like, "Oh, this is what I was doing."
He was like, "Oh, doing it."
Yeah, you know, I mean, mistakes happen, but you know, sometimes players throw cleats on third downs and get like you see, like LSU's been on both sides of that story. You know,
sure,
they've gotten penalties for taunting, but then they've also been in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, and it's been 3rd and 15, and then what's his name? Quincy Wilson picks up a shoe and chucks it across the field.
I do remember that. Was that what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was a couple years ago. Shout out to them.
Congrats.
But yeah, I mean, besides those were the games that I mean watched the most. There were a couple other games that I like tuned into, like Penn State and West Virginia. But then I mean Penn State kind of.
I saw some highlights from that, but
they kind of took off on that. So
WVU is none.
It was cool though. It was a good week 1 as a viewer of college football. It was a good week 1. As a Gator fan, it was awful. But to be honest, the game put me to sleep.
Sure.
The game. I mean, I was fighting sleep trying to watch that game.
Yeah.
I was nodding back and forth. It was a tough watch.
Next week is going to be some trash.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the funny thing. Next week will be trash, and this will be one of maybe two Gator wins this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to them.
Hopefully not, but
They might beat Sanford, but you know what? I'm not gonna do talk about it.
unless. Oh, no, we're not talking about Sanford, but any other notable wins we will
I'm
discuss.
not reviewing that game. I'm not predicting that game. I'm not Florida.
Now,
Florida.
if y'all lose, which I don't want to put that on nobody, but
Why would you even say that?
that's apologies. That's what my.
Why would you even say why would you
You
even
know,
say
I'm creative. You
see like
know,
why would
the
you even
brain
say something
goes
like
to
that?
different areas.
Why would you even say something like that? Anyways, we do got a game to predict though, and I feel like
That I'm afraid of.
look, Ravens Chiefs is something
Also, did
that
you know Quiznos was gay?
what are you talking about?
Like Quiznos, the sub shop.
What do you mean though? Like what does that even mean? What does that
I don't know.
sentence
Apparently,
mean?
the Q in Quiznos stands for queer.
Are you all right? So like what do you mean though? Like is that like a fact?
Um.
Like are you reading that off a screen right now?
Mhm.
And you're like positive you don't need to redact anything?
I don't know if I redact, but there's rumors.
It's yeah,
Is
it's
Quiznos still a thing?
I think so, and I don't think it. I think you might be wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, there's stuff on the internet about it. CBS News put out a thing that said Quiz. This is 2009. Quiznos airs gay torpedo ad. The toasty torpedo.
All right, okay. What a transition. Maybe let's talk some Thursday night football. Because football is back. Is there anything you want to say? Anything else you need to say about
No, I'm
Thursday night?
done.
No,
I
I mean,
didn't.
I was say I can see you just locked in, just talking about
No,
just
I was just
just
looking.
looking at Quiznos.
I was looking at Quiznos. Someone eats there.
But look, listen, it's a big deal. It's Thursday night football. It's the first game of the season.
Yeah.
It's the kickoff game. It's two of the best teams playing each other.
Do we have to predict the other game as well?
The other game?
Friday.
Oh Lord, did I miss that? Who
The
plays on Friday?
the Brazil game, the green game.
Oh, Philly and who?
Eagles.
Philly and who?
Oh, sorry. The Packers.
Okay.
I looked at the thing and I
Okay,
said the
the
Eagles.
Eagles. The Eagles.
The
Okay.
Philly against
Okay. All right. Yeah.
dude.
No.
Philly's
Well.
playing the Eagles. It's
Yeah.
gonna
No.
be
For
sick.
sure. We'll predict. Obviously. Yeah. We'll predict both. I completely forgot that. Duh.
Yeah. Well,
I didn't
no.
even
The
realize.
reason I remembered is because obviously there's that whole green controversy bullshit. Apparently, that's not really a thing. Everyone there is going to be wearing green, but it is weird because of where they're playing. The home team of that stadium does not wear green, and Philly is going to pay respect to that team by wearing white and black instead of white and green because the home team is white and black.
I don't care.
So Philly's going to wear not green.
Um. Let's predict Thursday night football though.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't put any. The only thing I put is let's talk about it. Like, because I don't
Of course.
have I don't have a bunch of questions like will Lamar, will Chris Jones, will Patrick, will Travis Scott. Like
No.
I don't have anything. Like it's
I mean, honestly, I think I don't know. I don't like this matchup week one. I would rather see this matchup with maybe some more implications later in the season. And I mean, like when the Ravens played San Fran late last year, we saw the weaknesses on each team and strengths of both, and it meant something. And it was kind of like an important game. This is not as important by any means, and
well, the problem with that is the fact that it's not that important because it's week one. It's gonna suck because it the outcome, the loser, it
will
will
be talked about.
it will linger all season.
I know.
And I'm trying my best not to be biased here as a Ravens fan. I think it will linger more for the Ravens. Like if the Ravens lose, if
1,000%.
the Ravens lose this game, it's going to be like, well, see,
Two
there they
straight
go
losses to the
again. They lose
Chiefs.
again to the Chiefs. Like
Yeah.
if the
Like,
Chiefs lose,
like they even did it to they did a little bit to the Chiefs last year when the Lions beat them week 1.
mhm.
But not.
But like if the
That was more
Chiefs,
so like the Lions might be good.
I'll put it to you like this, and this is like the best. This is the best way I can make it make sense. If the Chiefs lose to the Ravens on Thursday, literally next week, the week after, like say they can go 5-1 or whatever, and maybe it'll take a game or two, and Patrick Mahomes is gonna make one nice throw that everybody's gonna glaze, and then it's not gonna matter anymore what the
No.
Chiefs did week 1 because you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like, well, the Chiefs, they're a
They,
they
they,
need they don't.
they'll catch up later in the
Yeah,
season,
they'll
and
figure they'll work their kinks out by the time playoffs
they've
roll
got
around.
some new receivers and some things to deal with. Yeah, no, there's an excuse for literally everything with the Chiefs.
The Ravens could be 10-1. Their only loss were to the Chiefs. Lamar could be first place for MVP votes. It's
Yeah.
gonna be but like they
Well,
can't beat.
remember that first game loss
It's
to
gonna be
the
but can they beat the Chiefs?
exactly.
Like this is cool and all, but like when they got to play Kansas City, like what's gonna happen?
But then if you guys do win, it's like I don't know, you guys beat the Chiefs week 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be
It's like well, whatever.
it's. I'm not gonna say it's a lose situation for us because obviously starting off
Obviously,
the season winning in Kansas City is
it's huge.
fantastic.
And honestly, y'all losing in Kansas City is not that big a deal. But the it's just talk and implications and all this shit. But regardless, this will be hopefully a good football game.
And that's the thing. I expect a good football game. I expect a
Yeah.
competitive game. I expect a back and forth game. I don't expect one team to take off. Now, there are things that I do expect. Like I don't expect Patrick Mahomes to be able to just throw all
No,
over us with the
no.
with the with the with the with the with the names we got and the defensive just the DBs we got flying
And
around that we can the formations we can come up with
and
on the
the
defensive side of the ball.
and the obvious lacklusterness of Kansas City's receivers. Obviously,
Exactly.
Mahomes elevates those guys, but Xavier Worthy is a rookie, super
Juju ain't
fast.
Juju ain't cutting up on us, bro. That's not
Juju is gonna get rocked. Or is that a TikTok dance? I don't know.
nothing.
Um,
No, we're not letting Juju do anything to us. But I expect us. I expect. I mean,
Kyle's gonna be flying.
who?
Kyle Hamilton.
Kyle Hamilton's gonna be fine, but I expect for from since the Lamar era,
Mhm.
there's been one thing that we love, and that's the run game. I expect that run
1,000%.
game to be fucking flawless.
Dog. This is the first game with Derrick Henry. I think y'all are gonna show what he can do.
I
I
expect
don't
this run
think you
game
do.
to
You
be.
guss don't have Keaton Mitchell yet, right?
Nah, he's still recovering a little bit, but
Yeah,
I don't.
midseason.
It don't matter. I
But
need.
when he does come back, he's gonna be a dog. But yeah, no, Derrick Henry will be a force. And again, obviously, not only do you have to prep for Derrick Henry, you have to prep for the obvious Lamar threat, who is now 20 pounds lighter and probably just as quick as he was a few years ago. And still, I mean, even 20 pounds heavier, he was quick as fuck last year. So you've got two things to game plan against, and that's not even taking into account Lamar's throwing ability, which is top tier.
But and obviously, never in a million years am I gonna count out Mahomes and the Chiefs
No, of
and
course
what
not.
they're gonna bring to the table, what they're gonna do. I expect them to ball out. I, I, I'm struggling with making a pick. I don't know. I don't know who I want to go with, Devin. I'm not
I'm
gonna
taking
lie.
the Ravens. I'm fuck Chiefs for life. I'm not a Ravens fan, but I'm hardcore no Chiefs. Again, I think that Derrick Henry is plug and play into y'all's system. He fits in perfectly. I don't think that there's going to be much wrong. Will y'all have Mark back? Mark Andrews? You guys have basically the same receiving core as last year. Um, yeah, I think y'all will just start off on the right foot and I think the Chiefs, if they do want to contend for the entire season, will have a little period of not playing great football. But also, all of last year, they were never that good. They won games, but they were never a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think they will be this year either.
So you're going with Baltimore?
Mhm.
Okay. Um, so I'm not the biggest believer in history repeating itself. And maybe there's an alternate universe where if Zay Flowers doesn't fumble at the goal line, the Ravens are reigning Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, and maybe it's just the only thing that, like we said, no matter how the Ravens play in this game, there's going to be a lingering question of, oh, well, you beat them early, and so what does that
Mm-hmm.
mean later? Or, you're nice, but y'all couldn't beat the Chiefs. We beat the Chiefs week 1. We go in week 1 pissed. Show off in front of Kansas City in Kansas City. Shit on their ring ceremony. Shit on
Mm-hmm.
or their celebrate their ceremony just as Super Bowl champs and all that, and then we start feeling ourselves probably win the AFC North, lose to the Chiefs in the playoffs. My heart almost wants us to lose this game. Just a little bit.
Keep the pressure down a little bit. Keep the rage. Keep the fire the whole season.
And maybe that's just me trying to convince myself, like, do you really think the Ravens are going to win, or do you just want them to win?
Yeah.
But at the same time, do I really think the Chiefs are going to win, or do I just want the Chiefs to possibly come off with a victory that puts even a little more pressure on the Ravens and motivates them even a little bit more? So with all the yapping being said, I think I'm gonna go Baltimore.
Okay.
I think I'm
But I
gonna go
mean,
Baltimore.
honestly, I don't think that y'all need any added motivation. Um, I think y'all realize that this is an early matchup, and win or lose, there will be a passion to. I mean, obviously, if y'all get into the scenario where you need to face the Chiefs, will want to beat the Chiefs. But honestly, I think the bigger goal is getting past everybody in the AFC and then one team in the NFC. So, um, obviously, the Chiefs are going to be on the mind, but I don't think it's going to be any loss of motivation if you all win.
Yeah, I think it's the same attitude as when Lamar got drafted and said he wants to win a
I'm gonna
Super
bring you all a
Bowl.
Super Bowl. So, yeah, I don't. He's brought that energy every year. Um, Now his first full season, there was more of like that was the only thing on the mind. They talked about it the entire season. I think last season, I think they did it really well, where they really focused on every single game and beating the shit out of everybody. Um, and then yeah, obviously things didn't go y'all's way because of Taylor Swift and all that bullshit and whatever. I mean, the world is gonna forget because on paper the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, blah fucking blah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the 2 times in a row going for a three-peat, blah 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 blah. But yeah, no, we forget that the Patriots cheated, and then all of this shit happened, and we called Tom a 7-time champ, especially when he won 3 in the easy era of the NFL. So we go
Whoa.
through and we talk about all this, like all of the accolades, and we forget the story behind a lot of accolades and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, I don't think this will impact y'all a bit, and the Chiefs are frauds.
Also, I'm gonna need an apology from I'm gonna need if the Ravens win, maybe Travis can go over to Justin Tucker and be like, "Yo, like my bad for being a fucking
Travis ain't apologizing for shit.
douchebag." I mean, I won't put it
I
below.
don't.
I won't put it below him to be like, hey man, my bad. Like, hey, it's week 1. What's up, buddy?
Nah,
Like, hey,
I think he would have done that already. I think he's gonna come in with his little bitch ass
okay.
"we're the champs" type of attitude, and
I don't think he would go out of his
Apparently, he
way
got
to.
body shamed.
I don't think he
And,
would
like,
go. What are you
had
talking
something to say
about?
about it. I don't know.
I don't care about Travis Kelsey's body.
Neither do I.
What I'm saying is maybe he wouldn't go out of his way, but if he cross paths with him on the same field, maybe.
I would hope
Maybe as a
that
combo.
Justin Tucker doesn't give a shit what Travis Kelsey says or does or whatever.
Sure. I hope Justin Tucker drills a game winner in Kansas City on
And I
Thursday.
hope that the drilling of the game winner happens in the second quarter.
It'd be cool, but keep me entertained.
Agreed.
Keep me entertained.
But also, the NFL will be entertaining.
Don't gas me up too much. Don't.
No, I ain't gassing you up. I'm not
saying as a
gassing you
Ravens
up.
fan,
This is what I hope.
Like Ravens can't go out there and just blow them out.
No, they definitely can.
Then we'll really piss them off. Like I'm not trying to do all that.
No one should be afraid of the Chiefs. They are a team that is
okay. Fucking going.
Well, no, in all
repeat.
actuality, they're not a scary football team.
Okay.
They win.
You
whatever.
do realize these were the same exact conversations being had last year.
I agree.
Time.
I'm not changing anything, and I think that the Chiefs got lucky, won in the AFC Championship.
Sure.
And
I think there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of luck and a lot of stories and blah blah blah. But
there's also a lot of cheating, and they've cheated multiple times to become Super Bowl champs.
I don't think people are cheating as much in the NFL. I just don't.
Why wouldn't you have Taylor Swift as a Super Bowl champion?
I don't know. I think
it would be a waste of money for the. They've talked about it in the NBA before. Obviously, it's happened in the NBA, but it would be a waste of money for the NFL to have the Ravens and the Lions in the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I guess. But
so, we'll see. But at the end of the day, I still view this stuff as a business, and I think the NFL does, and I think they cheat and find ways to make certain teams do better.
See, but when you say cheat, it's
conspiracy theory.
The NFL, I think there's so many moving parts. It's like almost impossible to cheat. So like
money does weird things.
Like I think teams could cheat, but like the game as a whole, like the only example you can make is just if there's a chance the game is close and you need to make a call for which team, maybe that. But that's like it.
And that did happen
that's
against
like
the Eagles.
It. Like you can't no one told Zay to fumble at the goal line.
Agreed.
He fumbled at the goal line.
Sure.
Like so, are the Chiefs not supposed to recover it and then go win, and then go score?
I'm saying there's a bit of both. I'm saying that they obviously got lucky and they are cheating losers, but this is just me being an idiot who rants, and I don't need.
We
evidence.
all know the Chiefs aren't cheating. Can we talk? I guess
someone's cheating, and it's the quarterback of that team.
We gotta predict. We gotta predict Friday's game, the Brazil game.
Yes.
Philly versus Green Bay.
I got Philly all day. I don't even want to talk about the Packers. I am a Redskins fan, and I don't like Philly, but I have a seething hate for the Packers for some reason.
Why, though?
Because they're putting all these top 10 rankings and all these things, and Jordan Love is hyped up as whatever the fuck, and I don't see any tangible evidence as to why Green Bay will be good this year. Christian Watson, sure. Running back wise, they don't have Dick. Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, you're very wrong. I was about to say, they're actually way better in the running back department now.
Well, no Aaron Jones, obviously. AJ Dillon's going.
Okay, so Aaron Jones is a lot worse than Josh Jacobs. AJ Dillon is on IR.
Agreed.
He's not going to play, but Josh Jacobs is a top 5 running back. So
sure,
it's I
but
don't know. It feels like you're reaching. You're reaching. You were reaching at the Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones is gone. It's big deal.
No, what I'm saying is having a number 2 would be nice. Obviously, Josh can do it all on his own. But outside of Joshua Jacobs, this team feels to me like a fringe playoff team and a team that shouldn't be hyped up as much as they are.
I feel like I'm kind of an in-betweener when it comes to how I feel about Green Bay. I believe the Green Bay Packers just as a franchise, they're not like Jordan Love's definitely not going to be a bust.
No, and I think he's
Like when you look back at that at when he got drafted, people were pissed. People were going, "What?"
well as they should have been
But see,
because
here's
they
the
still
thing.
don't have a Super Bowl ring, and I think a talented wide receiver or any skilled position player at that point would have helped that team out.
It's true. Also, many quarterbacks have had tenures just as long as Aaron Rodgers, and while they may not have been as talented as Aaron Rodgers, you may just have to accept at some point it's just time to move on.
No,
And
a
see,
1,000% agreed.
here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think a lot went into the Jordan Love move. We're maybe there's a day 15 years down the line where they don't feel like putting up with Jordan Love's bullshit anymore. But when you've gotten everything you can out of Aaron Rodgers as a player, he keeps winning his MVPs. Obviously, we aren't good enough to make it to a Super Bowl with you anymore, or just as a team, or as just our coaching decisions. It's
Why
just
not
we're not
tank and get a better quarterback then?
well. That's because I think they knew what I was gonna say is I think they obviously are good at scouting talent at the quarterback position,
Well, once
and
every 15
they
years.
did not have to tank to get a quarterback in the first round that was going to be a starter and get paid the most
But
money
my
in the
thing is, it's
NFL.
like
You don't pay
nothing.
somebody the most money in the NFL and have a thought they're going to be some bust. I'm
Sure,
sorry, you can't think that.
sure. To me, it's like nothing to me shows that from what the Packers did with Aaron for what, 13, 12 years from 2011 to the end of his time in Green Bay. It's like none of that was in the right. I mean, there obviously were moves in the right direction, but they could have taken steps to propel them and make them a stronger team. And I mean, I don't know if I mean they might try with
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love, but I don't know if they have the ability to under their current
So,
coaching and GM lineup.
okay, so are you saying it wasn't Aaron Rodgers' fault they couldn't get it done over all this time? Man,
No.
it was more of well, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, obviously there were seasons when I mean Aaron Rodgers did not get it done.
Well, no, what I'm asking you is, do you think it was
Mm.
more of Aaron Rodgers' play or just the management of the Green Bay Packers for as to why they never even made it back to
I
a
think it
Super
was
Bowl?
clearly the running of the Green Bay Packers, the years with Mike McCarthy, who was clearly not a great. I mean, obviously an NFL head coach, but hasn't done anything with Dallas yet, and at least I mean, especially in the playoffs, didn't do anything with Green Bay. A few championship appearances, obviously the early Super Bowl. Matt LaFleur has shown to be a terrible playoff head coach. The GM clearly did not prioritize receiving talent or defensive talent or anything in that matter, and
So, I mean,
left the team shorter than they were worth.
but I'm just wondering like why criticize the Packers so much for having this quarterback that they could have continued to build around. They could have gotten the job done with. They could have given more pieces. They could have let him stick around and try to work it out, and they didn't. And they had a plan for the future of the team with their quarterback. When Detroit, I mean, there was nothing wrong with Detroit letting Matt Stafford walk. Matt Stafford got to walk and go on to
No,
his next journey, win a Super Bowl with another team. But look at it right now. There might be better weapons in Detroit.
sure, no, there are.
Who knows?
Detroit is clearly a better team.
He stays another year or two, and he might fucking win a Super Bowl with Detroit.
Agreed. The Aaron situation is different. I think by the time that Aaron actually left was already too late for the Packers. Now, when they did draft Jordan Love, was that 20? 2020?
20 or 21.
I think it was either one.
It was
They still,
21.
I think it was 2020.
Okay, well, okay, so let put it into perspective though. So Devontae left at last season,
Mm.
but I don't know. I feel like was it 20? It wasn't 2020.
No, it was 2020. It
Wow.
was way earlier than you would think. But
Okay. So okay, I mean, so he sat for a minute. I'm just saying to have like to have the 2020 vision to know like okay, cause we you don't know like
but also we don't know if this, like, obviously they had the vision to draft him and to use that, but they got two more MVP seasons out of Aaron when potentially could have used those seasons to make runs deep into the playoffs. I think they did. What was it, 19 when they lost to the Niners in the NFC Championship? Um, I don't know. To me, it was a
19.
weird way of going about his situation.
Well, the Bucks was the big fuck up.
The Bucks was yes,
The Bucks was the big fuck. But I'm just saying like we don't know what was going on behind the scenes. We don't know how long the Packers were considering moving on with Aaron Rodgers, even though like it's obvious, yes, Aaron Rodgers can produce an MVP season, but they might, they might just go, like they might be looking at it like, okay, we're going to have the next 15 years with Jordan Love, or 2 more years with Aaron Rodgers, 3 more years with Aaron Rodgers,
sure,
who and say he snaps his Achilles week 1 for Green Bay last season,
sure.
and Jordan Love is balling in Vegas. I mean, like,
Yeah.
who knows? I'm
My thing now is that what are they going to do for Jordan Love to give him the pieces that he can go and succeed?
I feel like they believe he already has some pieces. They're the youngest team in the league, but I mean, they have weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
A few, sure, but I don't think this team is Super Bowl bound by any means or
Neither do I.
anytime soon.
I think they're a team that can compete with Philly.
Sure,
Um,
and I mean, but if Philly is who they're supposed to be and who they can be, with, like, we look at everything on Philly, and I don't know. To me, it doesn't feel like there's at least talked about that much of a gap between a Green Bay that has a few weapons compared to Philly, who has some of the better weapons in the league.
I mean, you're putting a lot of a hope. You're putting a lot of hope into the health of Saquon. The
No, and I mean, this is all entirely healthy. Obviously, he's incredibly injury prone, and this season can go sideways real quick for Philly. Um, but I don't know. I would assume that they're, like, if Philly is who they're supposed to be, they should beat the brakes off a lot of teams.
See, and I know we know what Philly's supposed to be, but it seems like every year there is a team or even a couple where they have a bunch of pieces, and it's like
Yeah,
so obvious that they should be one of the top teams in the league, and they just cannot
yeah,
figure it out.
yeah.
And I'm not going to put that past Philly. For Philly to hype themselves up, they make the big move with Saquon. And they just got, I mean, just I got Philly, but I do think
Yeah.
it'll be a close game. I think it will be a good game. I think by the end of the year, Green Bay is going to be a playoff team. Um, but yeah, I will go Philly. So we both got Philly.
I got Philly. But yeah, I mean, obviously this game isn't going to have massive implications later in the year. The NFC East isn't going to be super tight, so
Who
uh,
knows? Who knows how good the
I,
NFC
I
East
know.
can
But,
be?
like, in terms of the way that we talked about the Chiefs game, it's like if Green Bay beats the Eagles week 1, it's not going to. I mean, there might be a little bit of Green Bay hype, but Green Bay could also still not play well down the line. So it's all week 1 stuff. We'll get into the heart of the season soon. We got some other games to predict
Next
next,
episode, yeah.
which are going to
But
be some
but
big ones.
next week when we're reviewing all these games, it's gonna be plenty of overreactions and plenty of
No, of course. I mean,
this
and
and
I think
that
we'll
and
have some as
these.
well.
Oh no, I'm saying us. We're
I
gonna.
mean, and, like, the lack of, like, full team play in the preseason is already leaving us knowing a lot less. I mean, barely any starting quarterbacks played in the
I mean, at
preseason.
this point, yeah, there's zero. I don't think. I mean, there's never really been anything you could get from preseason play ever. Like, there's never been, but now it's just like, I mean,
No, but now
it's
this
skippable.
is like a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't wasting my time putting my like like I wasn't gonna waste time watching a Ravens preseason game and like go and be thinking like, all right, well, this is gonna be a problem. I have no
Yeah,
clue. I don't know.
no, yeah, no.
I don't know yet.
We'll find out a lot week one about a lot of teams, but again, that could change by week whatever.
Now for Philly, Green Bay, Kansas City, Baltimore, for all of their sake, it's going to be nice to all week one be able to see what you can do and what you've already been able to put together in the offseason against a competitive
Against
team.
yeah,
Because if they're
especially in
playing,
their own conference.
yeah, and I mean if you're because you're playing some scrub week one, it's like you're gonna expect Kansas City to. You
Yeah,
expect Patrick Mahomes to throw 4 touchdowns or whatever. You're
exactly.
gonna expect Lamar to run all over the field, but
This is a good gauge for all four teams.
yes. But all right. So Philly, Baltimore. We'll see. Now I did. You tell me if this is a. You tell me what you think of this fantasy team.
Mm.
I don't know how to feel about it.
Did you have keepers?
I did. I did. Now here's my problem. One of my keepers is Jamar Chase.
Which I think is going to impact my keeper. And I think I'm going to run it up right until the draft
Mm-hmm.
because that's the best option. Because I got Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott, and CD got fucking paid.
Look, I'm just hoping the man Jamar plays.
Bro didn't practice again.
I know. And at the end of
But
the day, deep down, it's like he don't need practice. Maybe he just was gonna show up on Sunday and play, right?
now, if the deal gets done before Sunday, then it's all systems go. If it doesn't, that's scary for this team, for your team
Well,
now.
here, all right. So I'll just go down like what's in the starting lineup right now, and then the rest of my bench. So I got Josh Allen, first two running backs. I got Kenneth Walker and Najee Harris,
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase, Chris Olave.
Mm,
And then I got Njoku. And at my flex right now, I got Diggs.
nice.
They run with this league runs with two defensive players and a defense. So I
Okay.
have two linebackers, Alex Singleton and Logan Wilson, and then I have Seattle's defense. Mike McDonald, hopefully.
Well,
I mean,
a Mike McDonald run defense, hopefully, yeah.
I'm hoping
Now, you're not afraid at all of? I mean, I can't remember who you guys' new DC is, but
I don't care.
I think
Zach Orr?
Zach Orr. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
you guys are fine.
We're fine. We'll be all right. And then on the bench, I have DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, Zay Flowers. I had to stick to my word and pick up Deshaun Watson.
Did you?
Some other defensive players. I got Khalil Mack, Patrick Queen, and then my backup tight end Tyler Conklin.
Conklin
So
is
Jets.
Jets.
So it's like okay, it ain't the best fantasy team, but like
No,
there's
but there's a lot of guys who, like at least your running backs. There's a lot of players who have open doors. Now, Steph, his door's a little bit tighter. There's a lot of options there in Houston.
we'll see. We'll see though. I
We
mean,
will see.
it's like it's the fact that like Olave could put up numbers no matter how bad the Saints are.
I
Diggs,
mean, Spencer Rattler hopefully plays a lot of games,
yeah, that would be
and
cool.
he likes to sling that bitch.
I don't know what Diggs' role is yet in Houston.
Yeah,
Kenneth Walker, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, and Tony Pollard being able to swap all of them in and
agreed.
out. I mean, it's
Now Swift, correct me if I'm wrong, is still Philly.
Chicago.
Chicago. Forgot. I suck.
He is in Chicago.
He's in Chicago, so he. I mean, shit. We didn't even talk to who's the Bears week one matchup, but yeah, he will be good.
We'll worry about that on Friday.
No, I know. I just wanted to get a look at it. Oh, look at that! Nice.
Bears week one play Tennessee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that this is like kind of the secondary. This ain't the like the on it fantasy football league, but that is one of my fantasy leagues.
Which with 12 teams is going to be tough to have like a super loaded team. Obviously, we'll have some positions that good, but some players that are great. But
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Yeah. Playing with 12 players in a fantasy league or 12 owners in a fantasy league will definitely teach you the depth of rosters
yeah, there's going to be some
and some
names I've
names.
never heard, some low scoring games.
There's gonna be some wide receiver threes that you are begging to have hit that day.
Yeah, I'm
Just
I'm
that
begging
day.
De'Ami Brown to go up there and snag a few
Just
tutties.
please, Jahan Dotson, just
Yes,
go
give me
crazy,
something.
please. Like
Where did he? Hey, he went to Philly.
you're just
I
wishing
forgot
for
that
it.
too.
Oh no, y'all he didn't go. Y'all traded him, right? Y'all said, here you go.
That is true.
Here you go. You guys can have
There
him.
you go. Yeah, boy, take a first round pick from a few years ago. What the fuck are we doing?
All right.
I wonder what we saw in him that we were like, this guy is worth a bag of bones.
Bag of
We're
bones.
really looking that far in the future.
So I saw this link. Shout out to CBS for just
Get fucking CBS blows, dude.
no, dude. Deion Sanders. It's his favorite website or favorite.
Yeah,
It's his
no.
favorite. It's his favorite reporters.
CBS
Look,
Bleacher Report.
CBS posed the question,
Hmm.
and I thought it was good enough for us to have a conversation about. They gave the top 10 wide receiver duos in the NFL.
Hmm.
And, I'm just curious to ask you because now I want to ask you if we were to remake this list, maybe revise the list and fix it, what would be your, what's the criteria? Is it solely off of what you're going to expect from these two receivers? Is it, you know, is it, do we say, these two receivers, they could be a good duo, but, because the quarterback sucks, we know they're not going to have that good of a season? Or is it because we know how good their skill individually, how good they are, no matter who's throwing them the ball? Do they still get considered as much as they would if Patrick Mahomes was throwing them the football? And, it's like,
I think it depends. Sometimes it's difficult to separate the receiver from the quarterback. Now, when you have obvious talents like a Justin Jefferson or a Jamar Chase or guys
Tyreek
like that,
Hill, yeah, it's
like a Devontae Adams, then sure we can talk about them. But if we're looking at, yeah, I mean it'll come down to I guess
maybe we go over the list and it
yeah,
helps us.
because I mean duos is weird because I don't know, not every team has like an incredible individual duo. A lot of teams run with a like you guys in the Chiefs, y'all run with a tight end as your number two, number one option sometimes. So
Mhm.
it's a little different.
All right, well, so let's take a look at it. So first off, just to put in your head, I guess how good they're gonna say these top 10 duos are. Here are the honorable mentions.
Mm,
So Detroit Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jamison Williams.
okay.
Um,
I think that's just again having an obvious one and a two who's not
well, I
as
mean,
big.
it's the obvious one, and the two that is at least for now good enough to take advantage of not having all the spot or all the eyes on him.
Of course, yeah,
And a pretty decent not pretty decent, a good quarterback
a
throwing
good
the football
quarterback.
at him.
Yeah,
Green Bay Packers, Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs.
yeah, that's a name I couldn't remember.
Seattle Seahawks, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, that's a weird duo for me because it's I don't know. We don't know how much we're going to get out of Tyler Lockett or Geno Smith.
See, and it's like, is it because Geno Smith is throwing this football? Like
I
if
think it's a little bit of Geno and I think it's a little bit of Tyler being older.
if Aaron Rodgers was a Seahawk,
This is a great duo.
the expectations would be through the fucking roof.
Well,
They'd be through the roof.
I mean, for DK, yeah.
And I haven't read this list yet, so I don't even know who's going to be in it. So like, I'm shocked.
Okay.
Like, I'm kind of shocked. Seattle's not. I mean, top 10, not 10.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna hope that there are better
No, there's two more honorable mentions.
10 better
There's
duos.
two
Yeah.
more honorable mentions.
Yeah.
D Hop and Calvin Ridley.
That one, I mean, if we read that 4 years ago, that's a three bagger. That's three.
They're looking at more saying because of age is why they didn't make the cut.
Age and Will Levis blows.
And one that I might have to disagree with.
Calvin Ridley's not even that fucking old.
I'm not gonna lie, I might have to put this next one. I'm gonna be putting it up against every single one that I don't
Mhm.
think is it's. I'm a little angry. I'm a little upset with this. Honorable mention: Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
Okay, yeah. Clearly,
So I just want to see like who they think is better than all these honorable mentions. So
I would love to see what
number
the 10.
10, Devin. Who's the second best receiver for the Raiders?
Hunter Renfro.
I don't know. They say it's Devontae Adams and Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers, formerly of the Patriots.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I think that's. I mean, you could have the argument that the Lions would be top 10 just because of the weight, or the Seahawks because of the weight of your number one compared to your number two. I think Tyler Lockett's a better number two. I think Jameson Williams or whatever that guy's name is.
Jacoby Myers. Oh,
No.
Jameson Williams over in okay.
Yeah, might be better than the two of Jacoby Myers.
See, I mean, now they're saying obviously, you know, D Adams is D Adams, and Jacoby Myers has had 3 consistent seasons of 800 yards.
800. No, that can fuck off real quick.
Okay. CD Lamb.
I mean, Brandon Cooks had what 8 straight years of 1,000 yards, and no one said a goddamn word.
CD
Brandon
Lamb
Cooks is on
and
this list.
Brandon Cooks, number 9.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. What the fuck are we talking
Bro,
about?
but you called. I mean, you're right.
I did call.
You called
I
it. You
did call
said
it.
you said no one's talking about Brandon Cooks. Someone's talking
Well, no,
about.
I'm saying
someone's talking
that
about
I
Brandon
bring
Cooks.
up 800 yards when no one brought up the 1,000 yards because it didn't fucking matter because of Brandon Cooks.
Cooks isn't nearly as shifty as he once was, but his savvy experiences still gives Dak Prescott a serviceable outlet and a high-octane offense.
It's like saying Jamison Crowder is going to be a fucking dog.
Okay, though, but they kind of referenced, like he's still good enough for this quarterback to work with. Notice what they said. They said still gives Dak Prescott a serviceable outlet and a high-octane offense. So they're kind of starting to.
Sure.
So already at 9, they're kind of considering who's throwing the ball. So let's think
Sure.
about that. They're already considering who's throwing the ball, which means Gardner Minshew at 10.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing?
I told you CBS sucks, bro.
DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at 8.
Dude, this Bears bullshit. Are you shitting me?
Um,
We're gonna bring up age when it comes to fucking D Hop and Calvin Ridley, but not motherfucking Keenan Allen.
It says yes, Allen is older at 32. Apparently heavier than usual. I said last episode, bro, got a little fat.
That motherfucker can't run on his knees when he's $180.
So that's the thing. He put on weight on an injured body, and then you got DJ Moore, who, like, yeah, honestly, at this point, it might be DJ Moore and Odunze.
Odunze,
Like,
of course.
that might be the better duo.
Yeah.
But better than, I mean, honestly, better than CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, better than
The fact that
Tampa,
not only
Detroit.
are they not 10, they're not in the honorable mentions, they're 8.
Okay, now we're talking. Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you have the third, and I mean, honestly, we don't know how this is going to go. It could be Tank and Nico, and then Steph sits 3, or it could be Tank and Steph.
Yeah, but like now we're getting in the area where it's like these are 2 receivers that could easily go for 1,000 together.
Of course.
Now, what about is Cooper Kupp and Puka a better duo?
That I don't know, and I mean, with the high octane offense of the Rams and how much they throw the ball and all that shit, Puka could have a sophomore slump. Cooper Kupp is injury prone, was out for a lot of last season. I don't think you put that over, but whatever.
I mean, and like this says, they both have availability hurdles to clear. Cooper, obviously, I mean, Cooper Kupp and Puka will obviously can be a top 5 duo when it comes to productivity if they're on the field.
Sure.
So I will say, for the sake of health, I'm going to put them up there.
But the Rams are streaky.
Am I putting them over Diggs and Nico right now? I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. And number 5, I kind of have an issue with too. They got Debo and Brandon Ayuk. This is not a top 5 duo without the other
No,
weapons on that offense.
agreed, 1,000%.
I
I
don't
mean,
care what any.
when they're throwing the ball to Christian a shit ton. They're throwing the ball to George, obviously a shit ton. Obviously, this is the most stacked team, and to call this a top, if you solo out receivers, this is not a top duo.
No, yeah, you take Kittle and McCaffrey away from this offense.
Yeah.
Honestly, you got Brandon Ayuk and then Debo, who's half the time going to be the ball is handed off to him, or he's a fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just when it comes to pure route running wide
Duos.
receivers and duos, I don't think I put.
Obviously, I think Brandon Ayuk will do Brandon Ayuk, but this is a weird.
The motherfuckers are skilled.
Of course.
They are athletes. But when we're talking just wide receiver duos, put them on the field with any quarterback. I don't know. I don't put Debo and Brandon Ayuk over Puka and Cup, Diggs and Nico.
No.
Honestly, we'll see. We'll see. I know the Cowboys hate will never die, but even that duo, I think is gonna. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, number 4.
That is an asterisk.
That is a huge asterisk. Obviously, they both are going to be coming into the season with something to play for if they both come into the season playing. Now, if Jamar Chase gets his contract earlier than later, maybe he's a little more happier and balls out. And then, obviously, you got T. Higgins, who is coming to the season proving that he needs to be paid and is a.
He got tagged, no?
Yeah, he got tagged. Top 4, yeah. I mean, I'll give him over Brandon Ayuk and Debo. I'm still yeah. All right, I'll give it to him. I'll give him the nod. Now this is where we got a problem. Every single duo I named, every single duo I named.
They're throwing Travis Kelce.
Maybe besides Devontae and Jacoby Myers, is better than Jefferson and Jordan Addison. I'm sorry.
No, that's a what? No, get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, especially because at this point
especially when you have Sam Dookie Darnold.
You got to consider who's throwing the football. You got to. I mean,
clearly they have.
You have to consider who's throwing the football. Other lists may not give them their due, perhaps because of the Minnesota's tenuous quarterback spot or Addison's anticipated earlier suspension. And yet, which team wouldn't rush to trade for this
Addison's suspended, no?
What for? What did bro do?
DUI.
Of course. What is a receiver?
What else?
What's a receiver without like just recklessly driving a car? You know, like why wouldn't they do that? But
I'm not gonna put that on everybody, but it happens.
No, it's just like receivers are fast.
Please, honestly, yeah, that's what he should be asking for Christmas is an Uber gift card.
But top 3 wide receiver duos, absolutely not. You're gonna have to bump them. And I'm sorry, like Justin Jefferson, is he a top 3 receiver?
Obviously,
hands down.
Pulse.
But if we're talking duos, and we're considering who's throwing the football to that duo, bro, give me Baker throwing to Mike and Chris. Because this is ridiculous. This is crazy. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, are they the second best duo in the league?
I don't think so.
I mean, well, because who this leaves left. There's only one duo left that could be number 1. So, I mean, is this the second best duo besides the best wide receiver duo besides Miami? And does Miami have the best wide receiver duo?
What, you mean Odell and Tyreek?
No. Miami is an obvious yes because we have.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Miami does. Were you saying that?
Well, I was going to say an obvious yes because we're sitting here saying, well, these duos, no, because of the quarterback thrown to them. They ball the fuck out with
regardless.
Like
they are the reason Tua has a job.
Yes, they
are the reason that Tua is allowed to go back and shit on Brian Flores.
10,000%. Now
they're the reason that he is still anywhere near the NFL.
I have high hopes. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I don't know exactly what Diggs's role is for Houston, but I'm not gonna like. Here's another thing. We also know Diggs is somebody that wants the football.
Always.
So I'm not gonna say like I don't see him being like, yeah,
I don't see him taking a back seat.
I came here to be wide receiver 3.
And obviously, I don't even know if he'll have to just say it. I think that the way that he's still able to play, I think he can prove it.
But
Now it's always, we've seen it a lot. Team players going to different teams, but this is one of the first receivers who later in his career has moved and it's not been a money grab. Like he's here to win.
mm-hmm.
This is not a Devontae Adams. Let's go get a bag. This is let me go win a Super Bowl, which I like.
So my top 5, your top 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go top 10.
Oh, I mean, you can go with the whole top 10, but my top 5, like I'm saying, by midseason, who I think will be in this conversation. You keep Miami in there. Philly is going to stay in there. I think they drop a little bit. I think Houston jumps up into that top 5 conversation. I think Cincy stays in that top 5 conversation. I think Minnesota gets bumped out of that. And then it's down between San Fran and the Rams.
I think the Rams have a better duo if they both play.
Okay. I mean, numbers wise, it might look a little different just because of what that duo in San Fran to be able to pull off because of the other weapons.
Well, no, I think that the Rams' numbers will be more inflated because they are the two guys, and they don't have that much of a versatile offense. Like when Matt throws the ball, he throws the ball a lot. There's going to be a lot of balls thrown to tight ends and running backs, and a lot of different plays happening in the Niners organization that isn't.
You're also considering healthy all year.
I I think that obviously we have to because they are healthy at the current moment. So.
Okay, so what's your top 10?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Because to me, then it gets like real choppy after like 5 to 6, after like 5 or 6. Then because then you're talking like Chicago. Oh, I mean,
I'm throwing the Bucks.
Dallas.
I'm throwing the Bucks in there.
Dallas definitely makes a jump over Chicago for me. Raiders got to get bumped because I got to throw Tampa in there.
I think if we go Bears, I'm going to say Romo Dunze.
But Romo Dunze and DJ Moore, they're not right now. You can't say they're a better duo than some of these honorable mentions.
No, then I'm going Seahawks in there. I can't put the Titans.
No, I can't.
Honestly, I can throw the Lions in there. Take out the Raiders and the Bears. So Seahawks or Lions, like Bucks, Cowboys, Niners, yeah.
So you have like an official 10?
Kind of. Seahawks or Lions, 9 or 10. I think Bucks at 8, depending on obviously how they hold up all year and how Baker is and all that stuff. I think you can swap them with the Cowboys depending on how good Brandon Cooks is. Obviously, CeeDee's going to be good. Niners, Rams, Texans, Bengals, Eagles, Dolphins.
Texans, Bengals, Eagles. Okay, yeah.
But again, this is a receiver duo. And again, like I said, a lot of teams don't rely on a receiving duo because obviously there's top teams left long out of this list.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same page with you though. I think I'm probably around the same top 5 for sure. And yeah, I think duos are hard to gauge just because it's like, okay, yeah, in theory, Diop and Calvin Ridley could be like way nastier than Debo and Ayuk.
Yeah.
But they don't get to play next to McCaffrey and George Kittle. And no matter where you put Brock Purdy, he's better than Will Levis for now, from what we've seen. I mean, shit. Yeah. I don't think Will Levis is leading his team to a Super Bowl twice.
No, and I took the Vikings
anytime soon.
I forgot about it. I took them out.
Yeah, Vikings are
any team that's got Sam Darnold throwing to anybody. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, no, the Vikings are completely out of there solely because of Sam Darnold.
And
Sorry.
Jordan Addison is not only suspended, but who knows how good he is.
All right. One more last topic before we get out of here. Because I think I said we were gonna do Sports Jeopardy today, but I think we're done with
We're
Sports
already
Jeopardy.
done.
I thought about it.
So now I got to go play by myself.
Well, we finished. You got to think about the game we finished off on. It was the categories were Ravens,
Oh, we
Commanders,
did.
Maryland sports. It was a
Well, that
good.
one was frustrating.
It was frustrating, but it was a good game. I feel like to
Of
cap
course.
off the fantasy season,
Ugh.
the Jeopardy season. It capped
The
off the
NFL
Jeopardy season
offseason.
well. And there's enough to talk about. There's too much to talk about. It's just
Yeah, something wrong is going to have to happen for us to bring a Jeopardy back
yeah. It's
this year.
this year. Honestly, after the season ends, we'll see. We'll see.
Honest, it's going to be a long time.
We'll see. We'll see. But the final thing I want to talk about is
Unless we do like 4-hour pods.
Absolutely not. A different website giving a different top 10 for a different criteria. These are so last episode we read 32 reasons, one reason one reason every NBA team would not or would one reason not to overlook every NBA team. Now we got this one right here that it has the 10 cases against the NBA's top 10 title favorites.
Okay.
So
I like that.
Last episode we looked at every team and a reason not to overlook them. These are, in their eyes, the 10 best teams and why they will not win the NBA Finals next season.
I like that a lot.
All right. So going right into it, number 10, they have the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, obviously, this is one of the teams you probably could make an easier argument for why they won't win.
Why they won't
finals?
Yes.
This year.
Honestly, it's going to take a lot for them too, because they're a team that's shown all that they have, and it has never been enough.
I mean, at the end of the day, you get a healthy LeBron and AD, you can't count them out. But
I mean,
it will be easy to predict their ceiling if you know what is around them,
which isn't much.
Well, okay, let's see. So it says why so high? LeBron and AD, but as showed in the Paris Olympics, he's still one of the most dominant players in the world. The case against the Lakers weren't great last season. Aside from adding a couple of drafted players, they haven't made any moves to improve. There's a coaching change from Darvin Ham to JJ Redick. LA had some injuries last year, but James and Davis were relatively sound. If everything goes right, sure, the Lakers have a shot. But number 10 overall seems high. Just hoping not to draw the Denver Nuggets isn't a viable strategy.
Why did they bring up the two least impactful things to this LA team?
What do you mean?
The head coach and drafting Bronny James and Dalton.
Well, that's what they're saying. Those are the moves they made. They've drafted their two rookies and they've hired JJ Redick. Okay. That's it.
Those are incredibly unimpactful.
I'm not gonna lie, you're kind of helping them out because that was their reason for why they're not winning the finals this year.
Okay,
and you're going.
I mean, sure. I mean, I thought they were going to talk about like a role player, but honestly, their role players haven't changed too much.
That's the problem. Those were their moves, and I agree. I'll give it to them. Yeah, the Lakers. Yeah. We were sitting here going, "Oh, DeMar DeRozan, Pascal."
Dude, we brought up every fucking Siakam, name.
Zach LaVine,
Paul George,
somebody.
DeJounte Murray,
nobody. DeJounte Murray, nobody.
Lauri Markkanen,
Bronny James,
anybody.
Bronny James.
Dalton Connect 4, baby.
Number 9 is the Phoenix Suns. Now, to me, the Phoenix Suns, the easiest case you can make is just they're running it back with the squad they have. And what I mean is the big three in KD, Book, and Beal. And had they made a move, got rid of Beal, got something in return that just would have been a better fit than just another guy that's just going to chuck up shots that, honestly, when you got a duo like Booker and KD, the last thing you need is another guy that is really just there to Score 25.
Score.
I mean,
Their scoring is not their problem.
no, absolutely not.
So to me, what I would like to see from this team, which again we probably won't see, is Book taking full control of a more traditional point guard position.
Yeah,
Or someone taking control of a point guard position.
like
So you don't designate KD to a corner, just throwing up corner threes all day.
yeah, and
KD honestly should have the ball in his hands more often, and Book and Beal are great options to kick to.
and the fact that KD was voicing that, like how he felt, like just
Yes.
delegated to the corner. Like if I'm
Yes.
Phoenix, I'm like, okay, I'm making every single move possible
Every
to make
move.
sure you never feel like
Because
that again.
he is the reason that you guys will have something.
For sure. And the case against, I mean, right here, the trio of Beal, Durant, and Booker is impressive on paper, but in practice, 3 scorers who need the ball in their hands to be effective are duplicative, duplicate, duplicative,
Duplicative. Sure.
duplicative.
Never used that word in my life.
Duplicative. Have you ever? I was about to say, like, is that a word I've really never seen on paper? Sure.
I mean,
I
sure,
will say,
yeah.
reading things on this podcast super humbling. Booker has improved as a playmaker, but he's naturally a finisher. Beal has struggled to stay healthy for much of the past 5 years. I agree with that. Now
That's
they do
very
say
true.
having Royce O'Neal for the entire season after picking him up at the trade deadline. Sure, signing Tyus Jones, but this team is oddly constructed and not quite top tier despite the star power, which is pretty much what we said.
Now, if this team can, again, like I said, find a way to suit KD's game a little bit better, then I think they should go out and do that. But having all 3 of them out there at the same time is, to me, more of a hurt than a help, especially if they're going to play the same type of way.
If I'm Phoenix, and I know this is hard, it would be a hard thing to pull off.
I'm benching Bradley Beal.
See, okay, that's crazy. We're in completely different boats.
Bro?
If I'm Phoenix, and like I said, well, see, that's the thing. You can just bench Bradley Beal, and that's a way easier option, right? That sounds way easier to do. What I'm thinking though is if I'm Phoenix, I try to keep Beal as healthy as possible and make him look as good as possible. So come trade deadline, we got people ringing. We got people ringing for Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is still somebody you want to trade. The fucking Lakers. Who knows, bro? Like, and now,
I mean, that's a possibility, of course. Now, if they wanted to operate with him, I think he would do better on a third type of, or on a second team type of role.
You want a really early trade deadline prediction?
Is that what just popped into your brain? Is that what that thing was?
Do you know who could give up a big to Phoenix and could use a shooting guard?
Not the Miami Heat.
Golden State Warriors.
Who's their big? Draymond Green.
I mean, they could give him like Kuminga or some shit.
No, give him
who's the other bro?
Is Festus Ezeli still there?
No, dude. You know, he's another young guy. I don't know why I can't think of his name. But
Jordan Poole.
Never mind.
You think people are going to be calling for Jordan Poole at the trade deadline?
They should.
You think the Lakers are a Jordan Poole away from being champions?
They'd be a lot better if they had Jordan Poole on their roster.
I think they would be as well. Honestly, the fact when I thought of that, I was like, it's actually not bad.
Like you tried hating?
No. Like, I was trying to find teams that Poole could work on, and I think that the Lakers would be great for Jordan Poole.
Yeah.
I think he would be great for both of them.
Dude, any reliable guard at this point that's not named D'Angelo Russell or Austin
I think
Reeves.
any player. The fucking Austin Reeves bullshit can shut the fuck up. He had a few good fucking games or whatever. Who gives a shit?
The Milwaukee Bucks. Now I'm kind of interested about this case against, because like in my head, like they're a top 3.
The Bucks being 8 is crazy. I mean, they're gonna bring up Doc. They're gonna bring up injuries. Well, maybe a little weirdness and kind of like the Suns, like with a lineup, but not really.
Well, the reason they're at 8, it says they may get more love than they deserve. Even landing 3 solid players on minimum contracts. They got Gary Trent Jr., Taurean Prince, and DeLon Wright. The Bucks don't have the depth. Antetokounmpo is good enough to keep the pace with. the rest of the East over the regular season. And Lillard is one of his generational elite scorers.
I think
Injuries,
these are reasons to have them higher.
they still have Chris Middleton. I mean, I don't know. Bleacher Report.
Obviously, Drew's a big hit. It's been clear. Um, but I think healthy. I think with the right setup, I think a full season, a full off season of them playing together. I think that they, depending on their reasons for the next 7, but I think they're higher than 8.
I think they're higher than. Well, let's see. Let's see. So, okay, over at 7, the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves, I mean, just off of the momentum, like just the momentum of their, just how good they finished the season, like just how, I mean, they just got better and better. It's going to be hard to
Of
make an
course.
argument, but I am interested in this argument. Perhaps the odds makers against or agree the Minnesota. Perhaps the odd makers agree that Minnesota overachieved last season. Point guard may be an issue as Mike Conley is almost 37 and Rob
Yeah.
Dillingham, number 8 in the draft, is only 19. Cat has
Yep.
also struggled to stay healthy. Minnesota is very good and should be a playoff team, but Rudy Gobert-led teams tend to be vulnerable in the postseason,
They got
especially.
bailed out a few times by Jaden McDaniels, and I'm correct in saying that name this
Yeah,
time.
well, that is the true Jaden McDaniels.
That is the Jaden McDaniels. Yeah, I mean, they have obvious reasons why they should win games, but yeah, having a point guard that's 37 is a little tough. But I mean, CP
Yeah.
did it late in his career.
I mean,
Not anymore, but
see, here's the thing, though. You got Ant. You're sitting there with a healthy Cat. How much do you need Mike Conley to do?
it's incredibly true. But I think, honestly, yeah, the more I think about it, the more at peace I am with having a dude who's not going to have to yuck the ball up a shit ton of times, who is incredibly unselfish.
It's like, look, we got a 37-year-old Mike Conley that's going to be able to, at this point, fit in anywhere. He's going to know. I mean, he's just the
this
mental.
Is the opposite of the Phoenix Suns.
And then, I mean, shit, rookie Rob Dillingham, he's going to take whatever
I don't
role.
know what he's going to do.
He's going to take whatever role is given to him and go, all right, bet, let's ball.
Yeah.
I like this. I will say Minnesota over or Milwaukee over Minnesota. I'm sorry. I know Milwaukee disappointed and Minnesota, has all this hype, but I still think I got Milwaukee is better odds at winning the championship next season.
I think they have way better odds of not only, obviously winning a championship, but I think that a lot of that comes from being in the East.
Dallas Mavericks, number 6.
6 is crazy.
Why so high? Do the odds makers have no respect for Dallas's final appearance? Ranking the Mavs 3rd in the West, they still have Luka and Kyrie. No, question mark. Derek Jones was a low maintenance role player and key defender for the Mavericks in their surprise run to the finals. However, Dallas let him go. Was their run to the finals a surprise?
No.
I mean, like Luka and Kyrie, this was just because a team, just because we've seen so many teams like that are good on paper not work out doesn't mean when it does happen it's a surprise.
And also the fact that when this team did get put, when Kyrie did come to them, it wasn't a plug and play. They're perfect already. I'm going to be honest. Derek Jones Jr. is not.
I do think he was
huge
impactful.
Loss. He had a great year last year, but his role is replaceable.
It's replaceable?
I mean, to be a 3 or 4 scorer on that team could fall into the hands of a lot of guys, and Derek obviously was that guy. But, at no point prior in his career has he shown that he was that great of a player.
Yeah, but you do got to think, though, and I understand Clay obviously isn't going to Dallas to take the role of...
No, of course not.
He isn't there to take the role of Derek Jones Jr. to be just a 3,
But he's a good
guy.
3 or 4 option when it comes to a score.
But he is going to be taking up for a lot of time that would have been someone like Derek.
Agreed.
I'm just saying.
He's not taking up a lot of money.
I'm not that big on the Klay Thompson move because, like I said, I don't know if I said this last episode or whenever. It's just I feel like Klay is going to be taking too many unnecessary shots, or is just going to be a black hole on the court, just doing nothing.
Agreed.
Um,
I think if they learn how to do it correctly, I think that they can do it well. Um, but you have just such a. I mean, I think if you can delegate Clay to the corner, that's a perfect scenario.
yeah, but
He's a
see,
guy who's able to be put there, and he's a dish out type of guy, and he's still mobile enough where he can
no, he's not.
spread the ball a little bit.
He's not
He's not.
mobile enough. He's not mobile enough to make up for the defense loss with Derrick Jones. You know that.
No, but I mean, hopefully they can make it. I mean, obviously depth is a big problem for them. They still have PJ though. PJ's a good player.
So let go of Derrick Jones Jr. Klay Thompson, who, like they say, isn't the defender he was back in championship years with Golden State before multiple leg injuries. Banking on Najee Marshall to fill Jones' role may be too optimistic. See, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't, I don't think you can't just pick anybody up and say, do exactly what Derrick Jones Jr. did last season.
Well, I don't think they need to do what exactly Derek did.
But, bro, you
I
got to,
think that they will find a player, or maybe it's multiple players who can fill a defensive role.
maybe, but when you had somebody like Derrick Jones Jr., who was a reliable defender, and you were able to let Kyrie and Luka cook on offense and not have to worry about guarding the best player on the other team,
Where did he go?
you got rid of that and added just somebody else who's solely there just to shoot the ball.
Yeah, no.
I don't think it was the best. The management there is they might have made a couple bumps in the road there.
Derek Jones Jr. is 6'6". This motherfucker plays like he's 6'12". He's a Clipper now, so congratulations to y'all.
Y'all,
Actually, not your team anymore.
y'all,
My bad.
y'all.
That's on me.
Apparently, I'm
But
a
yeah,
Nuggets
all
fan
right. Bro
now.
averaged 8. Obviously, he had some big games, but he averaged 8 points last year, 8.6,
See, but
three
I
and a
mean,
half
okay. I mean, if
rebounds,
we're
and
gonna read the
assists.
box score, then sure, I guess Clay's a
Well,
better
no, I'm
replacement.
saying that to replace the numbers, it's not that crazy. Obviously, to replace defense is a different story, but
Okay,
to replace those numbers is not impossible.
that's the thing. What do you think was more important for them to maintain next season? The defense Derrick Jones was able to was able to provide, or the way more shots Klay Thompson is going to take now that he's
Well, we
undoubtedly.
don't know what Clay's role is going to be.
But that's the thing. If he's not on there to take a bunch of fucking threes, he's a waste of space on defense. Like
That is
it's a
true.
waste of fucking space. If he's not there chucking up 11 threes a game, what is he doing?
But Clay can go out there and no, I'm no. Clay can go out there and average 14 and have a productive season, average 15, whatever.
I don't know. If Bro's averaging
And I think that's
15 and
productive.
if Bro's averaging 7 more points but playing 50% of the defense, I don't know if it's going to be worth it.
Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I definitely don't think Dallas is 6.
What about the Knicks at 5?
That is fucking ridiculous.
So, I mean, last
How the
episode,
fuck do you go from NBA finalists to below the team that got knocked out in the second round after having a truly lucky season? Not lucky, but
bro, come
out
on.
of
I'm gonna say what you said last episode. They added Mikal Bridges, bro. Come on.
yeah, that's on
They got
yeah.
the full squad back. Look, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna go too deep on this team because last episode my hot take was the hype for New York. The New York Knicks is
Yeah, and I think we talked a lot about it.
it's uncalled for. I think the Knicks will be I think the Knicks will be a disappointment. They're the Cowboys of the NBA. That's what it
Well,
is.
I think if we expected them to do what this team is set up to do, which is maybe make the playoffs, make some team out of the 10 in the East, then sure. But their expectations now are, I mean, championship, which is I think a little much.
And do I personally think their odds are better than the Bucks, Timberwolves, Mavericks to make the finals? No, I don't think their odds should be higher.
I think the Suns could have higher odds, honestly.
Suns. I mean, that's the problem with the Suns is the skills there to figure it out. But Actually, no. Honestly, you need to get rid of Beal. It ain't.
Yeah.
It's never gonna work. It ain't gonna work. I'm sorry.
No.
Philly number 4.
I mean,
Okay.
if they couldn't figure out shit in a whole season.
Philly number 4.
Philly at 4.
I mean, let's be real. There's the biggest factor of them all.
Paul George.
Well, okay. If you think the biggest factor is Paul George, my biggest factor is just health.
Well, no, health obviously, but no, the addition of PG is incredibly nice to this organization.
If this team is, but that's what I'm saying. If it's Joel, PG, Maxey, they might be the best team in the East next season.
And that's a much more balanced setup of a team. You have a closer to a true point guard in Maxey. Obviously, he's going to shoot that bitch a lot. You have more of a spot up ish. I mean, PG's still very versatile. Obviously, he's not the guy who was running around like a motherfucker back in the day. And then you got like a straight up low man. I mean, it's a nice setup.
It's a beautiful setup, and they say, why is this year any different? The Sixers have a nice roster, but as many Philly fans tend to suspect, they always seem to fall short. But at the same time, like I said, you get a healthy Joel playing next to another year of progressed Tyrese Maxey, and a healthy Paul George. This could be the best team in the East.
Yeah, and I mean,
this is a weak case. This is a weak case. They always seem to fall short. Okay. I guess. So they got better, but because they always seem to fall short,
they could still fall short.
Yeah, I guess. Denver Nuggets at 3? You want to know why? It says Jokic is still a serious problem. Duh.
Well, that's not
solely the reason.
I mean, Jokic will obviously be a problem for any team, but it's going to come down to what won them a championship, which was their surrounding core.
Yeah, and they're still running with that core: Murray, Gordon, Porter Jr. Now KCP did leave.
Christian Braun
wasn't as good last year after losing Bruce Brown and Jeff Green. Lack of depth is a real issue. The addition of
y'all added
Russ and Dario Saric. How you say it? They don't
Dario
offset,
Saric.
They don't offset losing a key starter. I will agree with that.
They don't what?
They don't offset losing a key starter. I will agree with that. But I mean, like we said like we read it last episode, I mean, with their core staying together and coming back next season, that's a big reason to put them as a high chances of being in the finals or winning the finals. I think this is a weak case too. They lost KCP. If that's the straw that breaks the camel's back, all right, I guess. Then Jokic needs to give those MVPs back.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's crazy. All right, number 2 is OKC.
I was sitting here trying to figure out who the fuck 2 would be, and not one time did OKC come up in my head. That's horrendous.
I'm sorry, the only team that has the team with the best odds besides the reigning champs is OKC to win the finals.
Okay, cool. The fuck are we doing?
So let's read this. It's difficult to argue against the Thunder. No, it's not. They're young. Who finished as the number 1 seed with the tiebreaker last year in the West and have since improved, but this is still a very young and experienced team. Thank you. Caruso. Oh, stop it. The addition of Caruso has a championship with the Lakers, and the Thunder's core players add experience in last year's postseason, but the team may be a year away when it comes to having the know-how to close out later rounds of the playoffs. Yeah, I'm 100% agreeing with that. I think 2 or 3 years down the line, they're going to be a serious problem.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I mean, just think about some of the teams we were talking about and the talent and the, like they said, experience.
Yeah.
Nah, OKC ain't second, but nah.
Nope.
Nah, I'm not going with that. And then the reigning champions at number 1, the Boston Celtics, Devin.
And they're going to say, well, duh.
The Celtics return essentially the
Well,
same rotation.
duh.
Well, I mean, their reasoning why they are number one is because they're returning with the same squad, which I think is a good argument for why they
Of course, they
return.
won.
And I think that they do have a very high chance of returning. The best argument, though, it says the best argument against the Celtics is the Mavericks were a lower tier NBA Finals team. What are we doing? What? So
They really get the.
okay. So
All right.
is this just anti like we're trying to make Boston look as bad as possible? Because they
Yes.
downplayed Dallas returning to the finals, and now they're downplaying just the talent that Boston had to go against in Dallas. When let's be real, when that series started, before that series started, everybody besides Celtics fans, they were talking their shit.
Of course, I was.
You were talking your shit. I'm not gonna lie. I was sitting there saying, look.
Now, was I don't know, delusional? Of course. I'm not a fan of the Celtics. I, in all actuality, don't like them whatsoever. And I fell into the trance of the Mavericks. But to call the Mavericks a low, what do they call them? A low tier finals team?
Lower tier NBA Finals team.
No, not even. That's not a thing. Like the Heat, maybe you can call them that.
The Heat for sure. It says
The Mavericks, no. Yeah. Go fucking downplay the Nuggets. Can we downplay their fucking win?
Okay,
Because
well,
that was
here.
clearly way more of a walk in the park.
You think so?
What, the Nuggets beating the Heat in 2020?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Nuggets Celtics.
No, Nuggets Heat.
Okay, because it says if a more powerful team like the Nuggets with Jokic gets through the West, that's a bigger challenge for Boston.
Get the fuck out of here. Here's the fucking thing. They didn't get through the fucking West.
Okay, but also
so any team
you think Denver's better than Dallas, so there'll be a better challenge for Boston. Duh.
Sure.
I mean, if that's how you feel, it doesn't mean. I mean, I don't know.
I have updated the list.
You updated the list.
Yes.
What's your list?
Now this is without teams outside of the top 10 that they listed. Maybe there are other teams that could be in the top 10 over some other teams or whatever. But 10, I agree Lakers. 9, I agree Suns. I think Knicks at 8. I think OKC at 7. I think T-Wolves at 6. Bucks at 5. Mavs 4. Philly 3. Nuggets 2. Celtics 1.
Okay.
There's no fucking world that OKC should be allowed to be at 2.
Yeah, no, not yet. It's because it's all expectations. It's all hype.
No, of course.
It's all expectations. It's all hype.
But over all of those other teams,
it's a little premature. It's a little premature. But with all that being said, we talked college football. Gators being a disappointment. The game of the week possibly being USC versus LSU. Florida State fans got to eat some dog shit. Some fantasy football, some top 10 wide receiver duo talk. Predicting Thursday night and Friday evening, afternoon. I don't know what time it is.
Whenever we do it.
Some contenders in the NBA and why they won't make it to the finals. Is there anything you want to say before we get out of here?
No. I'm excited for the NFL. I think there's no better time of the year. It's my favorite season. I don't care for spring, for summer.
I feel it's definitely.
I think I've realized this year how much I miss football, really.
And it's back. It's here.
It's very back.
It's here. Football is back.
Again, like I said, I'm locking in with college football. I think this is going to be one of the more exciting college football seasons. It's already shown that anything can really pop off and happen to these teams. And I like it. I'm here for it.
I am here for it as well. Well, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you stay tuned. Brand new episodes every Tuesday and Saturday. We'll be back on Saturday to review the Chiefs and the Ravens, to review the Packers and the Eagles, to predict all of Sunday's games, to set our fantasies, to get right back into the NFL action, Devin. It has been me. It has been real. It has been Devin. It has been real. We are out.
Peter pecked a pickle, pickle, pickle peckers.